Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here. We have another weekly Washington football team live stream. I'm here with Juan Gotti. Make sure you guys check him out. I'll put the link in the chat. Great Washington football team YouTuber. Help him get to 3,000 subscribers. He's pretty close, about 150 subs away. So let's get him there. And yeah, today we're going to, not much in the news. So we're really just going to be talking about random topics that you guys come up with, and I have a few also to talk about. So what's up, Brian? What's up, Dor Gunner, Quentin Nelson, Justin, DeQuavis? Appreciate you guys coming in. Juan, what's going on?
What's going on, man? Appreciate you for having me on yet again. It's always a blessing to do this with you every time we come on. And yeah, I'm ready to talk about the beloved Washington football team.
Yep, I'm excited. What's up, Blue Jay? So I mean, like I said, the only news really the last week is that we signed Ricky Seals-Jones. So what is your thought on that? Like, just quickly.
Well, when I first saw it, I thought it was the guy. I thought we signed the guy from the Jets. You remember? I forget his name, but he used to play a couple years ago for the Jets. I know someone will eventually remind me in the chat, but he played for the Jets, and I thought that's who we signed. But then once I realized it wasn't him, I really didn't know too much about the tight end, and I hear that he's going to come in here to at least compete for a tight end spot and at least push the other guys to try to compete for the tight end spot, because I only think they're going to keep three, and I really hope it's going to be Sammis Reyes, but I think he's going to be on the practice squad just because he's a developmental project. So these could be the three tight ends that we keep, and that being Logan Thomas at 1, John Bates as the 2, and then this guy at the 3. But not a whole lot of information that I know about Ricky off the top of my head. But like I said, he can just come in here and be a camp body to compete for a tight end spot.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a veteran presence. He's, had a few years of over 300 yards, which really, besides Logan Thomas, we have no one on this roster that can do it. So, or that has done it at least. So that's just what he's going to be able to do. If, John Bates obviously is going to make the roster and is going to be the second tight end on this, team. And we'll talk about Gunner's comment in a little bit. But, I think they saw a couple weeks of Sammis Reyes and, they probably were thinking, we really like this guy, but he's going to be a developmental guy. Like, it's going to take 1-2 years for this guy to be able to be a contributor. So they probably brought in this guy and, to compete with the rest of the guys, like you said. And he definitely has a chance to make this roster. Bates and Logan Thomas are, locks. After that, though, it's wide open. You got a couple guys that they signed, Tyrone Swoops, I forgot the other two, and then they got Ricky Seals-Jones and Sammis Reyes. So going to be interesting. I don't know if they did sign him or if they did release him, I don't know if he would clear waivers and still be on the practice squad. So they might, like Gunner said, have to keep him on the active roster. And another thing to consider with Sammis Reyes, he's never played football. So, not even high school. He played, practice 1 week, and that's it. So, he's never played in a game. So, he's learning a lot right now. So, let's see what he does in between once minicamp is over and training camp. That's 6+ weeks. Let's see how different he is in those 6 weeks before we make, a conclusion, because we really don't know. But I do think, he might end up being on the practice squad, but it's going to be interesting to see. And Ricky Seals-Jones could be, that third tight end on the roster. Let me see what is up. Casper Hill, what's up, Mike Barrett? Appreciate you guys for coming in. What's up, Scotty, my guy? What's up, OKOSO? So let's see. Let's read some of the questions. Dor Gunner said Bates takes over tight end 1 spot next season. So I'll start first with that. I wouldn't be surprised, but if Logan Thomas leaves us, then definitely I think Bates, because he's a free agent this year. So after this season. So definitely Bates could be the tight end one, and we'll see. I'm really high on Bates. Made a video on him yesterday if you guys want to check that out after the live stream. I really like him. I think he's going to be a contributor right away. He's going to get, snaps right away because a lot of these guys, who knows, Cosme's probably going to start at right tackle, but that's not a guarantee. Benjamin St. Juste might not get a lot of playing time, but I think Bates, they're going to run a lot of two tight end packages. So he's going to be able to play a lot early on, at least, in the run game, in blocking, and then maybe later on a little bit in the passing game. I like him, but if Logan Thomas is on the roster, I think it still might take Bates like 1 or 2 years to overtake him.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. With John Bates, I don't see him being a starter, especially if Logan Thomas, or at least being the tight end one. Me saying that he's not going to be a starter doesn't mean he's not going to get playing time, because that's totally not true. He's still going to see the field, in my opinion. But if Logan Thomas builds off the season that he had last year, I think we're going to easily re-sign him to a longer deal, whether that's 2 years, because he is up there in age. He's still going to get re-signed if he has another season like he did last year, all while John Bates is learning the position because he's a young guy. And then even so, he can still eventually take on that tight end one role next year, even if we do re-sign Logan Thomas. But I think could be a possibility, which Ron Rivera has shown time in and time again, is that he wants a veteran here that knows the position to teach the young guys, and then after he used the veterans for all that they can, do for the young guy, they cut him. Adrian Peterson, for an example, Ryan Kerrigan, for an example. So Logan Thomas could possibly be that guy that gets cut just because he's shown John Bates all that he can do, and now it's time for John Bates to get that to take over the reins. And another guy that I can name, probably Morgan Moses, is another guy who we love and who will be a solid guy on this roster, as we know. But we have faith in the young guy, and it's just time for the young guy to step in and fill that role. That can be another situation at tight end, but I don't think it's going to be. I think Logan Thomas is going to have yet another phenomenal season, and John Bates will see some action, but I don't see him being tight end one, at least to start off his career.
Yeah, and still, though, we're both really excited about him. Let's see how he does. So Scotty says, who is your surprise cut? Mine is AGG. So I don't know. I have a few guys, not really big surprises, but I'll give you guys 3 guys that I wouldn't be surprised that get cut. I'm not saying they will, but just giving you guys a few names. So AGG, one of them. Kelvin Harmon, also another one. I think one of those guys, there's a very above a 50% chance that one of those guys may be cut. And then my last guy is DeShazier Everett. Not because I don't like him, but you got to look at the safety room right now. You got Landon Collins, you got Cameron Curl, you got Derek Force, who they spent a 5th-round pick on, Bobby McCain, Jeremy Reeves, plus DeShazier Everett. I mean, last year, all of those guys would have made the roster, but, this year they're not. And Derek Force is very, very similar to DeShazier Everett because Derek Forrest, special teams guy coming out of college. Like Jack Del Rio said, this guy's going to play special teams right away and transition into defense later on. He can play free safety and strong safety, just like DeShazier Everett. So if he looks good in camp, which we don't know yet. I mean, he had a pick, but we don't know yet how he's going to look. But if he looks good, I wouldn't be extremely surprised if he does get cut. What's your thought?
I have 3, and one of my 3 might be a hot take, but the first player on my list that I think would be a surprising cut that I hope doesn't happen is Kelvin Harmon. Reason number 1, he wasn't drafted by this regime, and 2, he's coming off a torn ACL. I really hope he doesn't get cut because I really think he can be something, and it was just unfortunate that an injury happened to him. My second player, I'm going to actually go on the opposite side of you at the same position. I'm going to go with my surprising cut being Jeremy Reeves instead of DeShazer Everett. And here's why. Jeremy Reeves, I mean, I never really seen him play special teams. And if he did, he hasn't played it up to the part of what DeShazer Everett did. DeShazer Everett has been a special teams captain. So I believe that if anything, out of those safeties, Jeremy Reeves will be the one to get cut. And I would be totally hurt about that because Jeremy Reeves is another guy that can compete for this starting gig. Remember, DeShazer Everett went down. He filled in very well for DeShazer Everett. And I was like, man, Jeremy Reeves could be a guy that could possibly start. But this is a good problem to have. We're going to have, and we're now, with this roster, we're now to the point where we're going to have to let go of players and be like, man, I really don't want to let go of these players. I want to sneak them through waivers, but it's not going to happen because they're good players and they're going to eventually get picked up. But like I said, that's a good problem to have. So I think Jeremy Reeves might be a surprise cut. And then my third one, which is kind of a hot take, I think Jimmy Moreland might be a guy that's on the outside looking in, just considering the fact that he really had his chance last year to prove that he can be that nickel guy. Now, a lot of people may say he's not a nickel. He's in the boundary corner, which is true. And maybe Ron Rivera gives him his chance to prove that he's an outside corner. But I personally think he kind of ruined his chance. And he didn't play terrible. He just didn't play as good to have his spot being safe. You know what I mean? I really think Jimmy Moreland might make this roster, but he's a guy that you got to consider as far as on the outside looking in, especially with the cornerback room now getting added to with William Jackson, with Benjamin St. Juste already on, with Kendall Fuller and the other guys that was already on this roster. Like I said, I don't know if it'll happen, but that would be that's a hot take, and that's a surprising cut that I think probably would happen.
I mean, it definitely is possible. I think he will make it just because, I mean, the cornerback depth isn't amazing. I think, obviously, Kendall Fuller, William Jackson, great. And then after that, you got Benjamin St. Juste, and then really don't have much depth after that. So I think Jimmy Moreland is your next guy, along with Darryl Roberts and whoever else they think fits. Scotty, appreciate the donation so much. Flight tickets and accommodations booked for week 1. Can't wait. First ever game. What position group can't battle are you looking forward to the most? And yeah, I mean, that's going to be fun. Week 1 against the Chargers should be a good game, and hopefully we can get that dub and should be a good experience for you. There's a lot of position groups I'm looking forward to. Let's try to do 2 different answers. So I'll go first. I'm gonna say wide receiver, just because there's a lot of guys, a lot of young guys. I mean, I think Terry, Curtis, De'Ami Brown are like absolute locks, and then I think that Adam Humphries has a very, very good chance of making it. After that, it's really tough. I mean, Cam Sims is probably going to make it, but, who knows? That's not a guarantee. Yeah, Kelvin Harmon, AGG, Dax Milne, who they drafted this year. So, and you can, throw in Isaiah Wright, Steven Sims. So it's going to be interesting because at least one of these guys will get cut. Cam Sims, Kelvin Harmon, AGG. Unless they keep 7, which is rare, I don't think all 3 of those guys make it, and it's just going to be interesting to see right there. I think our wide receiver room from last year mid-season to this year is just, the makeover is outstanding. You think what we had last year with Dontrell Inman, Jeff Badette, Robert Foster, and now instead we have Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, De'Ami Brown, Adam Humphries, and then Cam Sims plus the other guys. So that's going to be an interesting battle. Appreciate the donation, Scotty. What for you on? What's one interesting battle?
I was gonna originally go with the receiver, but you took the receiver spot, and that's still number 1 and my favorite position to go to in camp, just because of everyone that's there. But I also was considering to go with quarterback too, but I think all of us kind of see who's going to be the number one quarterback. I want it to be Taylor so bad because I really want to see him at least get his chance. You know what I mean? I know Ron Rivera, he likes to say this is going to be an open competition, but let's be real. Every coach already has their mind made up of who they want to at least be the starter. So I know he's going to feed to us and say, oh, this is an opening competition. And, oh, hey, a guy that you got to look out for is Kyle Allen. He's looked really good, and he can possibly be the star. Come on, Ron. Let's not do that. We know that's what he loves to do, and that's what every coach loves to do, quite frankly. But a position group that I'm excited to see is the offensive line, man. Honestly, with everyone beside Brandon Sheriff being a new faces, and I know Eric Flowers kind of isn't new faces, and Wes Schweitzer, and you still have Wes Martin who are coming back, but like kind of everyone is starting to be a new face at the offensive line, especially with Morgan Moses leaving. It's the competition is wide open. I mean, who's going to play left tackle? We have a strong opinion or a strong belief that it's going to be Charles Leno. But hey, who's to say Cornelius Lucas isn't going to be starting at left tackle? Then you have Eric Flowers, who we assume that they brought back to be a left guard, but who's to say that Ron Rivera, which I hope doesn't happen, but who's to say that Ron Rivera doesn't bring him back to be a left tackle? Then you move into left guard. Who's going to play left guard? You still have Wes Schweitzer, who played it at a high level, but now with Eric Flowers coming back, you have him been playing left guard and what he played when he was once here. And then he got paid to do last year in Miami to play left guard. So it's a lot of competition there. Chase Roulier and Brandon Sheriff are the two locks that are going to obviously be the starters. But even there, you still have Keith Ismail backing him up, and then backing up Brandon Sheriff. You either going to have Wes Schweitzer or someone else. And then on the right tackle, now Morgan Moses is gone. Who's going to be the starter? We assume that it's going to be Samuel Cosme, but it could be Cornelius Lucas to at least start the season. And you still have David Sharp, but I mean, I hope he doesn't get the start, but he wasn't too shabby at right tackle either. So with the offensive line group, that's going to be one of the most fun groups to watch, to see who we're going to throw out there alongside Chase Roulier and Brandon Sheriff, because we know those are the two locks.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Definitely. Another one is safety for me. I mean, we talked about it. Like, we have no idea who's playing free safety. There's legit four guys that could play there. Bobby McCain, DeShazier Everett, Jeremy Reeves, and it's a long shot, but if they wanted to, they could move Cameron Curl there. I don't think they will, but it's definitely a possibility. He's played there before. There's four guys that could play safety. Just very, very interesting, very interesting position group. And yeah, Brian put Juan's link in the chat. Make sure you guys sub him up. Make sure you guys sub me up, like the stream. And yeah, let's get 123K. What's up, Hassan? What's up, Peyton the Great? Yeah, I think Isaiah Wright is definitely gone. And one thing, I'm very, very excited. I mean, usually a lot of people don't like the preseason, but this year I'm excited because at the very least, if Taylor Heineke is healthy, if Kyle Allen, if they're healthy, they're going to get a chance to see what they do. I mean, if they absolutely ball out, I mean, there's going to be I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be the starter. I would be very, very surprised if he isn't. But if Taylor Heineke balls out there, even if he doesn't get the starting job, it gives you more and more hope that he could be something down the line. So same with Kyle Allen as well. Want to get those guys some more reps. And then you also get to see all these young guys. John Bates, Samus Reyes at the tight end position. You get to see the offensive line, Sam Cosme. You get to see Jarrett Patterson. On defense, you get to see all the rookies plus some new guys. I really, really am excited about it. Celeste Salazar said, will Troy Apke be cut? I definitely think he will get cut unless they I don't think he has a chance to make it as a safety. But, like I said, the cornerback depth is not good. So if that transition to corner, which we don't know if it 100% is going to happen, but let's say he transitions to corner, there's a slight possibility it happens, but I don't think he's going to make the roster. He's had a lot of time. I mean, what is this, his fourth year? Yes, fourth year. They got some guys. DeShazier Everett can play special teams. They got Derek Force can play special teams. So, Troy Apke is not needed on special teams. So if he can't really contribute on defense, then he's going to be out.
Yeah, I agree with you in a sense to the point where that he kind of blew his opportunity. And I made a video on Cameron Curl today, and I kind of alluded to last year's training camp with Troy Apke in it just a little bit. And I basically said that Ron Rivera kind of lied to us, or either I don't want to say he lied to us because maybe he really was balling out in training camp and he just couldn't translate that to the game field. Okay.
Real quick, all of the media members were every single one, all of them were saying Apke is the best. I listened to an interview. I think I can't remember whose podcast, but they went around and asked every media member who was there, who has impressed you most this training camp? And 75+% of them said Troy Apke, which is like he was probably out, but the thing is, there's not much contact in there. Like you could see right when the game started, when there was actual contact, you saw what happened.
Yeah, and like I was saying, I don't want to say Ron Rivera lied to us because he didn't, because this is what he was saying. He was saying Troy Apke actually make plays in training camp, and he kind of made Ron Rivera look bad to the point where we thinking he's lying to us. But nevertheless, I don't think Troy Apke is going to make this roster. Only way he makes this roster is special teams, in my opinion, because he's a hell of a special teams player, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's the captain this year with DeShazier Everett being a mainly safety now. I mean, he could possibly still play special teams if he doesn't get the nod at free safety, but I highly doubt. Well, I'm not gonna say I highly doubt that doesn't happen because we have a lot of competition now. But I think if he's not the front runner for free safety, I think it might be Bobby McLean. But nevertheless, I don't see Troy Apke making this roster unless it's for special teams. And then on even the same time, I don't think they're gonna keep him strictly just for special teams because, like Pedro said, they have other guys that can do that. But then also at the same time, maybe they want those other guys to do other things. They probably want Derek Foster to be focusedly more on the defense, and they probably want other guys like Jeremy Reeves, for an example, who like I said earlier in the stream, I haven't really seen him play special teams, but I'm pretty sure he can play it. They probably want him to do it. So like I said, in my opinion, if Troy Apke isn't playing gunner on special teams, I don't see him making the roster.
Yeah, I doubt he makes the roster, but who knows? Crazier things can happen or have happened. You can't really necessarily. Someone said you can't keep a guy who only plays special teams. Got to have additional value. I mean, that's mostly true. I mean, there's some guys though, like that do only play special teams. Like last year, Jared Norris. Like most people never heard of the guy, and that's because he only played special teams last year for us. I don't know if he even got double-digit snaps the whole season on defense. Because I think he only played special teams. But yeah, usually, I mean, you got to add something else to the table. Quick question. Do you think there's any other, players or just positions that we still should address in like free agency, maybe a veteran, or do you think we're good unless an injury happens? We don't need to go out and sign any of these guys.
Honestly, I don't think we need to sign any more players. I mean, and I know that's kind of funny because I just made a video on Julio Jones, but I was just doing that just because I was seeing like a lot of people saying Washington was favorites to land him according to betting odds. So that's the only reason why I did that. But even to say Julio Jones, I don't think we need to sign him because we have a ton of young receivers now and with a lot of experience. I know they're young, but they still have a lot of experience. Now Terry McLaurin going into his third year, Curtis Samuel going into his fourth year or fifth year, one of those. And then you have Cam Sims, who I know hasn't really got a lot of playing time, but he's somewhat of a vet too. now because he has experience and he's still young too. So nevertheless, I don't think we need to sign anybody now. I think we need to at least get through the first week of training camp to see how everything goes on, and then see how, or at least I'm not honestly, I would say probably the first week of preseason to see how everything is going on, to see if we need any depth at a position. But as right now, I think Ron Rivera did a great job at putting this roster together from starters to depth. Well, we don't really know the starters, but we have an idea of what we think the starters are going to look like. So I think as of right now, I think the team just needs to relax, just wait for training camp and continue to train on their own because I think the roster is set.
Yeah, I agree. And, Brian brought up a good point. There might be a bargain or two out there after June 1st because there will be some June 1st or post June 1st cuts. But besides that, I don't know if we need to make any signings just because there aren't any amazing players out there that are available at positions of need, at least. Let's see. Mike asked, "Do you think we'll keep 7 wideouts?" I really think it depends. I think it'll probably be 6, with maybe one of these guys on the practice squad. But if there's just no if they really want to keep another guy, then they'll probably keep 7. So I guess if Dax Milne is probably that X factor, I know he was their 7th round pick, but there's still definitely a chance he doesn't make the roster. So if he really impresses, then I think they'll keep him and he'll be that 7th guy. If not, he'll be on the practice squad if he clears waivers.
Yeah, I think they keep 6 receivers. It's rare that teams keep 7 receivers, and I know we're probably going to predict who we think our 6 is going to be. But I just think they're going to keep 6 receivers. I don't see them keeping 7. I think one of these guys are going to be on the practice squad because think about it, outside of Terry, outside of Curtis, and probably Adam Humphries, every other player could eventually be on the practice squad. Kelvin Harmon, AGG, Cam Sims. Who else am I forgetting? I know I'm forgetting a lot of other people. Isaiah Wright, even though I don't think he's going to make the roster, but Mills, they're all eligible for practice squads, I believe. So outside of the first 3 players that I named, who we think are going to be our starting guys to at least start the season, they all could possibly be that one player that makes the practice squad. So I think yeah, we're gonna keep 6 and I don't think we're gonna keep 7.
Yeah, so I mean we'll see. It's rare to keep 7, so it wouldn't be, crazy if they did that, if they really feel like they could, if they need to. And who knows, maybe they can get some compensation from one of these guys if they end up trading them. I don't know about that, but we will see. What is one rookie that you're most excited about watching in training camp, preseason, and the start of the season?
Oh man, that's an easy question. As much as I love Jamin and I can't wait for Jamin Davis to play, I'm really excited to see De'Ami Brown. I don't know if he's going to get as much as action as I'm hoping he gets, at least to start the season. But I'm really excited to see De'Ami Brown, man. I just love the way the dude carries himself, man. He just reminds me of Terry McLaurin, man. And then the dude just has that swagger that he plays with, man. And I'm excited. I really hope Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, and De'Ami can be our trio of the future, man. And I'm really excited to see De'Ami Brown.
Yeah, my guy, De'Ami Brown's one of them. I would say Jamin Davis just because obviously our 1st round pick, and then also he out of any of the rookies is going to get the most, playing opportunity. He's going to be a starter week 1. I mean, I don't really think. I mean, it would be very surprising in my opinion if he isn't the starter week 1. I mean, I don't know who would start over him. So I think definitely he's going to get a lot of playing time. Going to be interesting to see, right? Is he going to play at Sam? Is he going to play the Mike linebacker? Is he going to play Will? That's going to be interesting to see right there. And then, let's see how he plays behind our defensive line, and let's see if he really was that final piece to take us to the next level. I'm also intrigued by Benjamin St. Juste, that's going to be interesting to see right there. He picked off Terry McLaurin twice, or not. He didn't pick off Terry McLaurin twice, but while he was covering Terry McLaurin, he picked him off twice so far in OTAs. So, I mean, we don't have actually, we do have highlights from one of that, but that's interesting right there. So let's see what he does. John Bates as well. I mean, I'm intrigued by a lot of these guys. Shaka Toney, all these guys. Let's see. How many Pro Bowlers do you think we'll have this year? I mean, that's a good. I mean, it's tough just because we don't know who's gonna the voting and everything. I'll say Chase Young is a lock. I said this before the season. Like, he's that type of player that, like, the media loves him so much and hypes him up so much that he's gonna make it no matter what. So Chase Young's gonna make it. Brandon Sheriff is a lock he makes it every year. Even like when I don't necessarily think he does, like, not saying I don't think he deserved it this year, but there's been years where I'm like, I don't think he played that well, and he still made it. So Brandon Sheriff, Chase Young, hopefully Terry McLaurin. I'm not sure though. But let's see. Anyone else you think? Montez Sweat definitely could make it.
This is my list for our Pro Bowlers. Like you said, and I'm gonna say it for you because you didn't say it. Brandon Sheriff did not deserve an All Pro last year. I love Brandon Sheriff, man. I really hope we can get a long-term extension with him because he's just a guy that you want in your locker room. But let's be real, he did not deserve an All Pro last year. I think they just gave it to him just because of his name. But the players that I think are gonna make Pro Bowls for us is Tress Way, obviously the best punter in all of football. I don't care about Johnny Hecker. Johnny Hecker can suck one, man. Tress Way is the best punter in all of football. Then after that, I think Terry McLaurin is going to make it finally this year. He should have made it last year. But they hating on him, and just because he didn't have that much clout as of DK Metcalf or even Justin Jefferson made it over him, which, I mean, Justin Jefferson had a phenomenal season, but Terry just didn't have the notoriety that these other guys have. And Pro Bowls are all for young kids to vote, and all young kids to vote on all the guys they see the most. They don't see Terry McLaurin the most just because, yeah, he has social media following, but he's not up there with DK Metcalf as far as being promoted wise. And you know what I mean? And that's not I don't want to say that's a fault of Washington, but that's like kind of a fault of the NFL for not promoting their young receivers in a way. But I don't want to say that because they promote DK, they promote Justin Jefferson and stuff like that. But I think this year is going to be the year Terry McLaurin finally has his breakout year. I think last year was a sign of that, and just imagine what he can do when he have good QB play consistently. I mean, this guy should have had 1,000 yards in his rookie year if he didn't get hurt. And then he had 1,000 yards last year for the second year in a row with having QB play that just wasn't consistent. So this guy should have had 1,000 his first year. He had 1,000 last year, and I'm pretty sure whether it's Taylor Heineke or Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's going to have over 1,000 yards this year. So I think Tress Way, Terry McLaurin makes it. Chase Young obviously make it, as you alluded to. The media loves him. I think he's going to be the new J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt doesn't do nothing, and this is when he's healthy, obviously, but he doesn't really do nothing, but he always finds a way to make the Pro Bowl, you know what I mean? And then another guy that I think is probably not going to make it, but I would love to see make it is Antonio Gibson, man. I really think that AG is going to have a phenomenal season, and I think he can be a guy for the NFC that makes the Pro Bowl. That's not how they do it. I don't think that's how they do it, right? They don't do. I know they do it from like NFC versus AFC.
Yeah,
but
they do NFC. So you get a maximum for each conference.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I was right then. Okay, so I think Antonio Gibson, and then some sleepers that could possibly make it. I mean, you have Curtis Samuel that can possibly make it. You have Montez Sweat, but Montez Sweat, just like Terry McLaurin, he doesn't have that clout. No, I don't. He doesn't have that NFL club. Obviously, we know how great they are. You know what I mean? But other teams they look at Montez Sweat unless they really know football, like us and everyone in here. Unless they really know football, they don't know how dominant Montez Sweat is. Montez Sweat deserved a Pro Bowl last year. I wouldn't say he should have been a starter, but he should have at least been a finalist for edge rushing. I mean, I was happy though Chase Young got in, but he had a Pro Bowl season last year. So and then Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne. We have a ton of guys that could possibly make it. I don't know if they will, but Deron Payne is a guy that we have to look out for that could possibly make the Pro Bowl. Then John Allen is in a contract year, and this could be his best year since he's trying to get paid. You know what I mean? So, or even by that time, he probably already got paid. So, I mean, we have a lot of guys that could make this Pro Bowl. I don't know if it's going to happen, but if I had to go with some locks, Chase Young, Terry, and Antonio Gibson is probably going to be my surprising guy that makes it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think, Chase Young, Sheriff, Terry, hopefully. And I think, the D-line definitely could get a couple players just because our D-line has that clout. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's starting to respect us, and our defense. So, let's see. We got some Cowboys fans in the chat. So let's see. I'm trying to think. You got any? Wait, someone said, should we go after Zach Ertz? What are your thoughts?
Zach Ertz. I don't think we're going to, and two, I would say no at this point. But if we were doing this before the draft, I would have been all on board for Zach Ertz because if he is healthy, he's obviously one of the best tight ends in all of football. But I think if anything, Zach Ertz gets released, he's going straight to Indianapolis. I think him and Carson Wentz, and then also their head coach who was the Eagles offensive coordinator when they won the Super Bowl. I think that's where he's going to go. But if we was having this conversation 2 months ago, I would have been all on board for Zach Ertz. But as of right now, I don't think so.
Yeah, unless an injury happens or anything. Unless an injury happens, then I don't think we're going to sign Zach Ertz. But, who knows? Someone said Cameron Curl to the Pro Bowl wouldn't be. He's still a year or two out just in terms of like the league recognizing who he is. Like no one, like besides Washington fans, no one knows who Cameron Curl is. Like in terms of like, unless you're like a true fan of the NFL, like most of the players on every team. These guys, they just don't know him. So I think this year, especially with us getting more nationally televised games, I think he has a chance to get up there a little bit, and maybe in his year 3, he has a chance to make the Pro Bowl. So, Juan, since we got a Cowboys fan in here, like, what do you feel about how we stack up with like the Cowboys, Eagles, and Giants?
So completely honest here, I don't do no bias. The Dallas Cowboys have the best team in all of football. Not all of football. My fault. Not all of football. They have the best team in the NFC. I just gave them too much of a compliment. See what happens?
NFC East or NFC?
NFC East. You see what happens when I try to give them a compliment? It comes out all wrong because they know I shouldn't be saying this. It's like, nah, I'm playing. But they have the best team in the NFC East to at least start the year. We got to give at least 5 games to see how our offense do. Because if our offense is playing somewhat decent to average, we have the best team in the NFC East. That's no question. But considering the fact that our offense is a question mark, they're getting Dak Prescott back, who is easily a top 10 quarterback in the NFL when healthy. They have the better team. I'm sorry. I know y'all don't want me to be honest, but that's the kind of person I am. I keep it 100 with everything I talk about, especially when it comes to sports. Dallas, on the other hand, they're always each year in and out projected to win a Super Bowl or go to the Super Bowl or win their division, and they always stink it up. So just because I'm saying Dallas has one of the best offenses in the NFL and probably the best team in the NFC East to at least start the year, that I mean they're going to win it. You know what I mean? Because they always have the better team. They always have the projection to win or at least compete for a Super Bowl, and they always find a way to stink it up. You know what I mean? But to be honest and to be fair, they have the best team as of right now in the NFC East. But like I said, that's subjected to change. Who's to say that Daniel Jones, which I hope doesn't happen, because God, we will never hit the end of that. I personally think Giants fans are more irritating than Dallas Cowboys fans, at least now.
On
But
Twitter or on social media at least.
yeah, but with the Giants, who's to say Daniel Jones, and please God don't happen, but who's to say he doesn't take that leap to become a better quarterback and can lead that Giants offense with Saquon Barkley getting back, with Kenny Golladay coming back, or not coming back, but getting signed, them drafting Kadarius Toney, and also having Sterling Shepard. They have some weapons on that team, and if Daniel Jones takes that next leap, they can be a team that can override Dallas and Washington to win the NFC East. So just me saying Dallas has the best team as of right now doesn't mean that's not going to change once the season starts, because they very well could not be as good. Dak Prescott could be really not that good coming off of that ankle injury. You know what I mean? So Washington fans in here, I know I kind of let y'all down because I'm supposed to talk trash about the Dallas Cowboys, but I'm an honest person, and what can I say? I think we're going to beat the Dallas Cowboys this year, though. So if that makes us feel any better, I think Dak Prescott's going to finally. Well, we beat him, but he hasn't seen the defense like this. And Dave Moore, I know you're probably not going to want to be honest about that, but you gotta keep it 100, man. You know Dak Prescott coming off that ankle injury. I don't know how he's going to fare against this D line, man. So go ahead.
Yeah, here's the thing that cracks me up with the Cowboys fans, Eagles, especially the Cowboys and Eagles fans. I have this comment up right here. He says, since you guys really impressed beating Ben DiNucci and Andy Dalton with a decimated O-line, if I remember correctly, in 2018, when you guys freaking beat Colt McCoy and you were playing against everyone was backups. I remember you guys bragging about that division. I remember that. And I mean, this is the 1 year in the last 4 years that we haven't had the most injured team in the NFL. Like literally from every year before this year, we led the league in players on IR. And hey, when we brought it up with you guys said injuries are a part of the game. So I'm going to bring it right back at you. Injuries are a part of the game, and it's your guys' fault. You guys don't have players behind Dak Prescott. I mean, Andy Dalton is a serviceable quarterback. Your offensive line is getting pretty old. Injuries are a part of the game. Zach Martin is starting to get those injuries piled up on. Tyron Smith, same thing. So, I mean, yeah, sure, we beat Ben DiNucci and Andy Dalton, but I mean, how much – we killed you guys. It wasn't even close. What was it? 41-16 and 25-3. And then also, what was your record? What was your record with Dak Prescott? I mean, you guys were 1-3 before Dak Prescott got hurt, and the one win was they gift wrapped the win to you guys. The Falcons did. All they had to do was sit on that ball.
Yeah.
And they didn't. So that's all I'm going to say. They might have the better roster, but they implode every single year, and I think, are coaching much better than them. Mike McCarthy, don't really like him. I think our defensive coordinator, much, much better. Jack Del Rio, probably a top 3, top 5 defensive coordinator in the NFL. We got him, Scott Turner, he's up and coming, and Ron Rivera, in my opinion, the best head coach in the NFC East. And Mike McCarthy might be the worst. Who knows? I think Joe Judge is definitely second. And then after that, who knows with Mike McCarthy and Nick Sirianni. Going to be an interesting year. We'll see how Dak Prescott, comes back from it. But I think our roster, I saw someone point this out earlier. I think our defense and their offense kind of cancel each other out, because their offense is top tier and our defense is top tier. And you look at our offense is definitely better than their defense, in my opinion. Sure, quarterback is the most important position in football, but we'll see. This is probably the best roster we've had in a long time, and it comes down to if Fitzpatrick plays like he was against the if Fitzpatrick plays like he did last year, then I mean we have a really good shot of winning 10, 11 plus wins. Brian said I'm a fan of McCarthy's fake punts. Yep, that was funny. I mean, he basically won us that game, and we were barely winning, and then he does that fake punt, and then it all goes downhill from there. Just wondering where, like, I mean, I don't know. After I started talking, I haven't seen David Moore in the chat, but go ahead, Juan.
Yeah, so I was just about to say that although they have the best offense in the NFC East as of right now, that doesn't mean nothing because we have the best defense in the NFC East right now. So with that being said, I mean, yeah, you guys can put up all the points that you want against other teams, but I don't think that's going to happen because on the flip side, if you guys can't move the ball on us, we can move the ball on you guys in our sleep. With Steven Montez out there, we're going to be able to move the ball on you guys. That's how bad your defense is. So with you guys having the best offense, that doesn't mean nothing because our defense is, if not the best defense in the NFL, it's top 3 for sure right now. So, I mean, hey, it's going to be fun to see you guys this year, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk anymore. I don't think you guys are going to have it easy anymore. And I think you guys are going to continue to waste Dak Prescott's prime years with having a terrible defense because when Dak Prescott was healthy last year, my man was putting up 40 points a game, still losing. So I don't know why he resigned back. He should have came here. You know what I mean? I mean, we would have been a Super Bowl champion. We would have not been a Super Bowl champion. We would have been definitely a contender with the Bucks, with the Rams in the NFC. I'm telling you, Dak isn't gonna win nothing there, man. I'm telling you, he should have came here, bro. He should have came here. I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, at least I like that this year is probably like it's been like the closest it's been to a rivalry in a very, very long time. I mean, I don't know, 5+ years really since like we've both been at least respectable teams going into the year. We'll see how it goes with Dallas. We'll see. I mean, they always implode, but they have a talented roster. They've got a good quarterback. They've got a good running back. They got a good running back room with Pollard and Zeke, and then they've got an amazing receiving core. The defense is a mess, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think it's going to be interesting between the Giants, Washington, and the Cowboys. I mean, if we get swept again by the Giants, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do, but yeah, this rivalry hopefully is coming back, and hopefully we sweep them again, hopefully, or at least get one win against Dak, because we won't hear the end of it if we don't get a win against Dak or Daniel Jones. But yeah, this division is definitely going to be better than it was last year. And what's up, King Sean? Appreciate you coming through. But yeah, this division is going to be okay. David Moore said Amari Cooper with Dalton torch your secondary. Okay, so he torched Ronald Darby. He did torch Ronald Darby a little bit, but he's gone, and we got William Jackson, one of the better cornerbacks in the league. And I mean, he was really the only one who did anything in that game. And I don't know did anyone? You guys scored 19 points in 2 games. 19 points in 2 games. So I mean, average less than 10 points a game. So I don't know. He didn't really do that much, and your offense didn't do that much. I need a little bit better, argument than that. I mean, Ben DiNucci and Andy Dalton, not great, but you can't say that Amari Cooper torched us both of those games. And he did a little bit in that second game, but I mean, still ultimately how many points? 16 points is what they scored.
And let me say this right quick. Ronald Darby isn't a man corner, and he still clamped Mark Cooper when it came down to business. Yeah, congratulations. And on that Thanksgiving Day, he cooked them one time. Okay, cool. My man came back on that 4th down, clamped him. He's not a man corner. Now we have a man corner in William Jackson the third, as Louis T likes to say. He's going to clamp Amari Cooper. You're going to have to rely heavily on CeeDee Lamb, who was okay. You know what I mean? He was underwhelming to start the season at least, but he kind of picked it up towards the end. But like I said, we have a man corner now, Benjamin St. Juste, who looks solid in OTAs, who I'm hoping can grow to be that second outside corner. And then if we move Kendall Fuller, you guys don't want us to move Kendall Fuller in the slot. I'm telling you, I love Kendall Fuller on the outside, but he makes his money in the slot. And if we move Kendall Fuller in the slot, man, it's raps for you guys, man. I'm telling you this now. But yeah.
Yeah, I just want Dave Moore. Dave Moore, how many? Give me your win prediction, your record prediction for Dallas. I just want to hear this. And then Chris Smith, Giants fan in the building, said Daniel Jones is undefeated against Washington. Yep, I mean he is. Let's hope that changes this year. But still, nonetheless, even with that, we still won the division last year, and one of those wins that Daniel Jones got gave us Chase Young, so I'm not complaining about that. But still, I'm really excited to see Washington versus Giants this year. I think it should be a good rivalry, and let's hope we can get one. I don't think we're going to sweep the Giants. I cannot say we're going to sweep the Giants, even though I think we're a better team. How am I going to say that we're going to sweep them after we've gotten swept the last few years? I'm just hoping we get one win against them. David Moore said 11 and 7. I mean, that's an extra game, but I don't know. Maybe you're saying 11 and 6. I mean, that's not super unreasonable. I don't think it'll be that, but definitely I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas won 10, 11 games.
That's actually more reasonable than what I thought he was going to do. Dallas with Dak Prescott last year, they win 11 games easy. Let's just be real. I know, guys. I don't
know though. Here's the thing: they were 1-3 before he got hurt, and the one win that they got was the Falcons game, where it was the biggest choke job ever. So they should have started off 0-4. They were dealing with a ton of injuries. So, yes, I think they would have won more games. But, I mean, what is Dak Prescott going to do, when the defense is allowing 30, 40 points a game? Their defense was so bad last year. Their defense, they didn't add so many players this year coming into this next year, but they switched up their defensive coordinator. They added a bunch of rookies, so their defense is going to be better this year than it was last year, because their defense last year was atrocious, and I don't think they get over. I think they win 9 games max last year. With Dak, I think they win the division, but I mean the injuries they had combined with their defense, I don't know about 11 games.
I just think let me rephrase that better. I think they won the division easily with Dak Prescott if he doesn't get hurt. But I feel like I'm giving them too much credit, man. Should I just start hating on them, man, how I'm supposed to do? But nah, all seriousness, Dallas going 11-6 is actually very reasonable. I thought he was going to come on here and be crazy and say, "Oh, we're going to go 16-0, 17-0, 15-2, whatever it is." I thought it was going to be something crazy, but 11-6 is actually respectable. I think that's around with any team in this division besides Philadelphia Eagles can actually win, or be at to win this division. I think that's very reasonable. So with that being said, I don't know if you guys will get to 11 wins if Dak Prescott is playing at Dak Prescott's obviously going to play up to what he can do, but if that defense is terrible again, I don't know if you guys can get up to 11 wins. You know what I mean? But that's all I'm going to say on the Dallas front. I feel like I've been giving them too much credit.
Yeah. Let's see. I think we got to get, I'm hopefully going to get, a round table, got to get some I want to get a Cowboys fan, not Cowboys fan, Cowboys YouTuber, Giants YouTuber, Eagles YouTuber. So if you guys have any guys you guys want to see, I already have some people in mind, but give me some Dallas guys and other YouTubers as well. It should be fun. I'm so excited for this year. Put in the comments any questions you guys have, just for some talking points for the last few minutes. But yeah, this division this year, I think it's going to be much, much improved over what it was last year. Sorry, I think I'm frozen. But yeah, it's going to be much better than it was last year. What do you think, Juan?
Totally, man. I think as much as I hate the Cowboys, as much as I hate the Eagles, as much as I hate the Giants, I think that this division is finally starting to get back to what it was as a division being. If a team makes it out of this division into the playoffs, they're probably going to, if not win the Super Bowl, be close to winning the Super Bowl because it's a slaughter fest to even make it to the playoffs out of this division. And look at our schedule. They set it up like that to end the season. Dallas, Philly, or I forgot. I don't know it verbatim, but you guys know it's around there. We have 5 state division games to end the season. So whoever wins this division totally deserves to win it, man, because 5 straight division games to end the season, NFL set us up. But I know our team, flip the hat around, I know our team is made for this, especially under Ron Rivera.
Yeah, and I think it definitely, it comes down also to Fitzpatrick because, like, our defense is top notch. Our defense is definitely top notch. I mean, guaranteed, I don't think, here's the thing. I think their statistics are going to be worse than last year, but the defense is going to be better. The only reason I'm saying the stats might be a little bit worse is look at the quarterbacks we played last year versus the quarterbacks we're going to be playing this year. We're going to probably be playing Dak Prescott twice a year. I mean, all these guys, unless they get hurt. Dak Prescott twice, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, Tom Brady, a bunch of other guys. So, a bunch of other quarterbacks and great offenses. So, our defense might be a little bit worse statistically, but I still think they're going to be, better personnel wise. And yeah, I mean, going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And I think our offense is much, much improved. And here, guys, here's one thing I think people are not realizing. Like, you guys got to remember how bad our quarterback play was last year. Like, we had the 32nd ranked QBR in the NFL last year, and it wasn't even close. Like, Dwayne Haskins, he wasn't good in the first couple games. He wasn't terrible, but he was bad the first couple games. When he came back that second time, probably the worst quarterback play I've ever seen. And then we had Kyle Allen, who was all right for 2 games. And, Alex Smith was good for his first, couple games starting. But after that, once he got hurt, he was also bad as well. So Fitzpatrick is definitely going to be an upgrade over what we had last year. The question is, how much? How much of an upgrade is he going to be next year? If he can play like he did last year, which was the 5th best QBR in the NFL, then I think we can win 10 plus games. If not, it's probably if he plays worse, maybe 8, 9 wins. But if Fitzpatrick plays okay or better, I think we can get to double-digit wins and make the playoffs. Because I think, we win 9, 10 games. We'll probably win the division with 10. I'm not sure. But with 9 or 10, you can still make the wild card if someone else like the Giants or the Cowboys win more than that.
Yeah, with that being said about Fitzpatrick, I was just about to say if he can just, and I know he's not gonna be like this because he's a gunslinger, man. But if he can just take that Alex Smith and a healthier Alex Smith and just be what he was for us down that stretch of the season last year, where we went 5-0, 5-2, one of them, 5-2 down the stretch of the season. If he can just do that for every single game, and I know he's gonna have his moments, guys. I'm preparing you guys this now in May. Well, basically June, because it's kind of basically June. But I'm preparing you guys this in June, so when it happens in September or October, November, December, whatever time it happens, don't be surprised. Fitzpatrick is going to have games when he throws 4 interceptions. That's just what he does. But if he can limit those games and be the ultimate Alex Smith, I don't need you to score 30 points a game. Yeah, that would be phenomenal. And if he scores 30 points a game, that's going to make this team be a Super Bowl contender. A lot of teams a lot of the media are going to start to ride with Washington if we're putting up 30 points a game. But I don't even need you to do that. If you can give us 23 points a game, with this defense, we're going to be the NFC East champions, man. I say that with the utmost confidence, just because I know how good this defense is, and if we can just get the littlest support by the offense, then I would be so happy, man. I think this team would go so far. And let me make a connection or an example. So, this pitcher in the MLB named Jacob DeGrom for the Mets, he deals every single game. The guy is phenomenal, the best pitcher in all of baseball. But he fails to get run support by his offense, by the hitters, similar to what this defense had done last year on countless times. They played phenomenal defense, but the offense failed to score the ball. Why, as long as Ryan Fitzpatrick can be that Jacob DeGrom for the Washington football team, as long as he can be that pitcher, or the defense being that pitcher, rather being Jacob DeGrom, as long as Ryan Fitzpatrick can be Francisco Lindor or all those guys, Dominic Smith for the Mets in the Mets lineup, as long as Ryan Fitzpatrick in the office can be that for us, we're winning this division, no question.
Yeah, and same thing with Max Scherzer. He never gets run support like today. We scored 0 runs, but I think that's a good point. What is up, Philip B? Appreciate you guys. You coming in here, and yeah, I mean, once Ryan Fitzpatrick has been less of a gunslinger lately. I think I can't remember what the yardage was. It was either 20 plus yards or 30 plus yards. Last year he was 12 for 17, so that's really good. That's a really good percentage. And also, like, that's not that many attempts down the field. So it's encouraging that he's, throwing down the field a little bit less than usual and at a very good percentage right here, or a good percentage. So I'm excited to see what he can do. And we've got two very good, capable backups that if Fitzpatrick is struggling, go ahead, put in Heineke, put in Allen. We're going to be fine. Excited to see, how we end up doing. Let's see what, I'll do a couple more questions. And in the chat also, put in some questions that you guys have as well. What is one guy you really, really want to see in training camp? Like, you're dying to see this guy.
I'm dying to, and I'm gonna continue to say this. I'm dying to see. Wait, okay, I'll say, all right, for an example, to make it fun, we'll say a rookie since we never seen him play, and we'll say a positional player just because, or a veteran, or you know
Yeah,
what I mean, a
second year
second year
plus.
player. So for my rookie, I love Jamin Davis already. I want to see Jamin Davis, but I want to see De'Ami Brown, man. I'm gonna get a jersey, man. Just that too just looks so sweet, bro. Like I like, even just like I keep saying, he carries himself just like Terry McLaurin. And if Terry, and I know this sounds weird saying this because Terry is still very much a young guy, but if Terry can take this guy under his wing and he can mimic everything Terry does, it's gonna be scary for teams, man. And I'm so excited to see De'Ami Brown in training camp, man. He's my favorite draft pick out of this year's draft class. At first, when we first drafted De'Ami, when I didn't really know that much about him, I was like, okay, I like the pick still because we needed a receiver. But after learning more about De'Ami, man, I was just like, yeah, this man's gonna be phenomenal. I love De'Ami Brown already without seeing him take a snap in the Burgundy and Gold in an official game. I'm excited to see him. And as far as a player that's already on this roster, man, it's hard because I want to see everybody, but I want to see Antonio Gibson, man. I love Antonio Gibson. He grew on me throughout the whole last year, similar to De'Ami. When we drafted Gibson, I was excited, but I was just like, okay, I really wasn't, that enthusiastic about the pick because I thought last year we needed a receiver and we drafted him. It said receiver, no, it said running back. I can't remember. It said running back on the board, but they said he was a receiver, and then we used him more as just a running back. And I'm excited to see Antonio Gibson. And let me throw one more person there just for the fun of it. The last person that I'm really excited to see, like I said, I'm excited to see all of them, but trying to see Cameron Cheeseman, man. You know what I'm saying? Snap the ball, man. Let's see what you can be. You know what I mean? Just for the fun of it. I like the memes that they do with Cameron Cheeseman. So.
Yeah, so good options. I'll say first Taylor Heineke. Very excited to see what he can do. Getting some playing time. Another guy, Jarrett Patterson. I'm gonna count him as a rookie. from our rookie class. I think that's going to be really, really interesting to see what he can do, possibly make the roster as that third, fourth running back. Really, really think he has some good potential. And then let's see, Lee the Spicy Manager asks, who do you think will have the most sacks? So for me, that's an easy question. I think Chase Young this year is going to absolutely dominate. I think last year he got off to a strong start, then had in the third game of the season, like first quarter, maybe even first possession, had that groin injury. And he just wasn't the same for like 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. And, he said before the Bengals game, he was like, this is the first time I feel healthy, like since the injury. That game, what does he do? He demolishes Joe Burrow at the goal line. He wasn't the one who hurt him, but he had the huge goal line stand, forced a fumble, and after that, he was just an absolute beast. I think he's going to have 12 plus sacks this year, maybe even. I think he's going to absolutely ball out. Besides him, I think Sweat is an option, and then Ioannidis as well. I think Ioannidis will definitely be top 3 in sacks if he stays healthy, because Payne and Allen are good, but they're more run stuffers. They're more run stuffers than pass rushers.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. But since you already picked Chase, I'm gonna go with Montez Sweat just because the guy had a phenomenal season last year. I'm like, when Sweat was like his rookie year, we seen the potential at the end of the year. But at the off season of this year, going into this season that just passed, so I was like, yeah, Sweat's gonna have a phenomenal season. He needs to take that second year leap. But I did not expect it to be this, man. And I really think Sweat, along with Chase Young, with getting Matthew Ioannidis, a lot of fans that aren't Washington fans, they don't realize how much of an important need and how much we missed Matthew Ioannidis last year. Matt Ioannidis is, and as much as I love Duran, as much as I love Jonathan Allen, Matt Ioannidis is the only real interior pass rusher that we have. Deron John, yeah, they can apply it sometimes, but they're mainly run stuffers. Matthew Ioannidis is the only interior lineman, and I now honestly, if I had to rank them, I would go Matthew Ioannidis, and I would go Tim Settle, then I would go Deron, then I would go John as far as being interior pass rushers. Tim Settle is another guy that really knows how to create interior pressure to help out our exterior pressure, get to the quarterback more. So as long as Matt Ioannidis can stay healthy, Chase Young, Montez Sweat, they both could have the ability to, and I don't think it's going to happen, but they both have the ability to get double-digit sacks, man. And you guys are going to see, as long as Matt Ioannidis stays healthy, you're going to see a different Chase Young. And it's crazy saying that because he killed the league in his rookie year. He won Defensive Rookie of the Year last year, and that's with no Matt Ioannidis in the middle. But you guys are going to see a different Chase Young, a different Montez Sweat with Matthew Ioannidis in that middle, clogging it up, causing interior pressure. So I'm so excited for this defense, especially with getting Matt Ioannidis back.
Yeah, we'll answer a couple more questions. David Moore says, serious note, really, do you think you did enough to be contenders this year? Here's the thing. I mean, it really depends on what your definition of contenders is. I think we can win a playoff game, but I don't really necessarily think that we can make like a deep, deep run and make it to the Super Bowl. But I think, we can get 10 plus wins. I'm not saying we will, but I think we can get 9, 10, 11 wins. And possibly if we have a good matchup, we can win a playoff game this year. But, obviously the quarterback of the future is missing, which we will have to address this next off season. Let's see, any other questions? Do you guys think that Jarrett Patterson will make the roster? I think he has a solid shot. What do you think?
I think Jared Patterson will make this roster. I think he's going to eventually be that Peyton Barber for us. I mean, no one really, and this is one thing I love about Peyton Barber, and this is will really show people if they're really football fans, because I know a lot of people out there that really don't watch football. And like I said, everyone in this room, we all watch football like every week, and we really know it on the other side. But this is for people that really just watch it as a relaxing person. But what I was about to say was that with Peyton Barber last year, he had a role that no one else could do. When Peyton Barber came into that game on 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, other than those plays, he really didn't really do much for us. But on the third downs, we already knew we're going to pick that up. 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, hand it off to Peyton Barber. He's going to pick that up. That's not. No one else can really. I don't think no one else besides probably Derrick Henry and other running backs in the league was as consistent as picking up third downs and short. And last year, I think Peyton Barber will be, or Jared Patterson rather, will be that next Peyton Barber for us, at least to start off his career. But I totally think he's going to make the roster.
Let's see. Celeste said, "Do you think 15 can't catch a punt will be cut?" Yes, he's gonna be cut.
Yeah, me too.
I think is that is he talking about your song one?
Oh yeah. He's talking about my song. I just realized that.
Yeah, but and guys, we'll answer a couple more questions, but we got over 100 people in here. Make sure you guys sub me up. Make sure you guys sub up Juan. And, like the stream, let me put his link in the chat. Make sure you guys sub him up. He's on the road to 3,000 subscribers. Let's see. Someone said I would trade Montez Sweat in 2027. He could be a number 1 edge rusher. Hey, who knows? 2027 is what, 6 years away. So we'll see what happens in 2027. So any more questions, go ahead and put them in the chat, and then we will call it a day. Appreciate all of you guys for coming in today, supporting the channel. And, next couple weeks are going to be a little bit slow. I might have a couple OTA videos in the next week or so, and then I'll have that mini camp, definitely a couple mini camp videos when they come out, and, a couple of videos with, rookie players. And if you guys didn't watch it, go ahead and watch my video yesterday from John Bates, where I kind of broke him down. Let's see. Any other questions? Red Wing said, I'm really excited to see James Smith-Williams. Yeah, I think he can. I don't think he's going to have a huge impact, but he's definitely going to make the roster. He made it last year as a special teams guy and, situational edge rusher. I think he can do the same thing this year. AJSTP003, appreciate the $2 super sticker, man. Appreciate the support. It really helps out a ton. Thanks again. And let's see. Lee the Spicy Manager said minicamp starts June 8th. I think it's June 8th. I'm not completely sure. But, yeah, I don't think it's this week, but I think it's next week. Let's see. Last question. AJ asks, how many O linemen do you think we need? Let's see. Are you asking how many do you think we're going to make? Or, sorry. How many do you think are going to make the team? Because I think it'll be, and you can help me out with this one, Sheriff, obviously, Sheriff, Cosme, Lucas, that's 3, Roulier, Schweitzer, Sadiq Charles, let's see, David Sharp, Powers. Let's see. Who else am I missing?
You were lagging, so I don't know if you said Keith Ishmael.
Oh yeah. So I didn't see. Yeah, Keith Ismail. Yeah, I don't know who, because I was lagging. Oh yeah, Charles Leno. I don't know how I forgot him. Charles Leno, Eric Flowers. So it's probably gonna be like
10,
what, 9, 10,
yeah.
probably 10.
Because I'm thinking, you have 5 starters and then probably 5 backups at least on the active roster. But no, I don't know how you say your name, but Diom, I don't know how you say that. I'm sorry, but no, I didn't play football. I played baseball, and I don't play football.
Yeah.
But so I think we're keeping 10 linemen to at least the active roster.
Maybe Wes Martin. That was maybe what. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. A lot of different position groups where they would have probably made the team last year. They might get cut this year. But, I mean, Cornelius Lucas, Charles Leno, Cosme are all going to make it at tackle. You can maybe David Sharp as well. That's probably 4. And then you got Eric Flowers, Brandon Sheriff, Sadiq Charles, Wes Schweitzer, Chase Roulier, Keith Ismail. That's 10 right there. Those guys are going to make it. After that, who knows? So appreciate all of you guys for coming in here and supporting the channel. Make sure, like I said, go ahead and check out Juan. And, we'll have videos out in the next week, and make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Peace, guys.
Peace. Thank you.